good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, Mr. A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator, and we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us another day. We're gonna have a wonderful conversation today. I know some are coming in from yesterday, looking for the fire, but I'm gonna shift the conversation a little bit, kind of in the sort of the same realm, but just a little different, and I'll explain why I'm shifting a little, for a few reasons. But we will talk about that. Looks like my man Mr. Curve is hanging in the wings. We're gonna have him on after the intro. We're gonna have him come through. So listen, make sure you are sharing, tagging somebody, let everybody know that the Brothers of Legacy is in the building, and understand we don't stand out, we stand up. And the purpose for the Brothers of Legacy is to give us space to discuss issues that sometimes aren't discussed a lot on mainstream. Also, my goal is to have thoughtful conversations about everything, meaning we get in depth and we get understanding. I'm never about the sensationalism of anything. I'm about change. I want our community, especially the African American community, to change and to upgrade our lives, and through these conversations to kind of open your mind to think a little differently and see things from sort of a different perspective. All right. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you share, make sure you tag somebody, let everybody know that the brothers are on. We come on every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. I am blessed. I've actually connected with some folks that have subscribed to the YouTube channel, so it's funny, I feel like I'm gonna know all of my subscribers. Like, I've had a personal connection with all of my subscribers. Not many YouTubers can say that. So I appreciate, and we're growing slow, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with growing slow. At first it was a struggle, but now I've accepted the kind of growth that we're going to have, because it's not about just the blow up situation quick and not sustaining, but we're going to grow slow and move into different spaces. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off. Let's get it popping. So make sure you sharing is caring. All right, let's go. I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy. Change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come. A co-op has to start with ownership. But we have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Mm-hmm. Because this is covenant.
The whole thing is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this just possible, often invested in the business.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Wow. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Wow. I'm sorry, I got a little quiet. I shouldn't have, because y'all could probably hear me. What's up, Kaneem? Good morning, sir.
How you feel, brother? I look like we have some technical differences.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. How you feeling this morning, sir?
Oh, man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and they told me that all my numbers is good, and everything is going to be great in about 2 weeks. So I'm feeling
all right. Awesome. All right, so today I got a topic that I can't remember what it is exactly, but in essence,
I give a recap on what happened yesterday.
Because I'm
Like, who was on phone yesterday?
I know I don't. So we're talking about moving forward and building our community in the midst of even in like disagreements, and how we can become better as a community even when we don't agree on everything. And working through our differences and things of that nature. And I'm switching it up. And Kenny, you weren't here yesterday. We had Ephraim on, and we got into the weeds of like racism and ignorance and some of the differences, and I became the lone wolf in my opinion. And my thinking, and it's fine. I don't mind coming in from left field with a different kind of way of thinking, but I felt like coming in today, kind of ramping up that conversation wasn't going to lead us anywhere, if that makes sense. Because it seemed like, because when you have a certain way of thinking, and I've been there, it's hard to shift off that space. Hey, blessings, Lisa. Thank you for sharing. Yep. Well, it's Thursday. Yes, indeed, Kathy. Appreciate you. And it's hard shifting off that space sometimes. And within an hour conversation, sometimes you're just doing back and forths. And regardless of what points are made, sometimes it's hard to concede and say, you know what, you're right about that. And I've been in that space. All right. Oh yeah, in the building, Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr.
What's going on, good brother?
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday. So I've shifted the conversation a little bit, just so we can have more of a thoughtful conversation instead of kind of like the back and forth. Me and Pastor was kind of going back and forth about seeing it from different perspectives. And so today I just kind of want to talk about how do we move forward as a community in building each other up in the midst of disagreements. How do we build as a community with different kind of perspectives? Because one thing Pastor said, the different eras you grow up in, and even the different places you grow up in give you different perspectives. Like I always say, like I came from like a typical middle class 90s family, wasn't wealthy but didn't struggle kind of situation. Shout out to my parents for that. can't take no credit for that. And like my perspective on life was different because like I said, we didn't go through certain struggles in life. And even when it came to like, unfortunately, like the social service system, and when you're living in a space that you don't really see all of the world, you think, why are these folks struggling? They just need to, and you get this mindset of, there's no reason people should be living like that, but you don't realize being older, like, oh, circumstances happen. Decisions that you thought were going to work, they just don't work out that way, and as you get older, your mind and your perspective changes. But if a certain space, if I never saw that or experienced that, I might stay in that same mindset as an adult. You feel what I'm saying? So with those kinds of differences, like what are some of the things on our agenda that we can agree on to help move our community forward? We know people go through situations and people have their opinions about like social service and like the EBT programs and things like that. On, some say get rid of it, let them figure it out, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and how all that works. But as a community, how do we work together, even in the midst of other cultures, to build ourselves up and reach a point of agreement, on things that need to be changed, like that. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, because I really want to make sure the conversations we have are more forward thinking and us not just getting in a rut and just fighting in the weeds, right? It was like Pastor the small foxes, worried about the little stuff when we can see the big picture of how to change some things. And that's this is kind of where I want to go today. So my question, of course, I got to start off with a question to kind of lead off where directly I want to discuss, but in your opinions, right, with the way our community is, what are some of the things that we lack in our community that keep from moving forward besides Jesus? We need him. We know we need that, definitely. But besides that, like, what are some of the things that we need in our community to help us build, to help us grow?
I'm
So everybody answer at one time.
Usually I call him Brian, but I'm gonna call him Pastor McCoy today. So I'm gonna let you know. I don't do enough in my community to even know what we need. So I'm gonna follow your lead.
Well, I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time, but I think that it takes a lot of what we're doing. It takes communication. It takes highlighting the challenges that we face on a daily basis. I mean, you can't get better if you never diagnose the issue.
Right.
And I don't think discussions around the issues are a lack of forward progression. I
Okay.
really need to understand where I struggle with before I can start remedying my issues. And I think we spend too much time trying to move forward and we don't really heal.
Okay.
And I think, when I hear you say, we need to talk forward progress, I'm like, yeah, a lot of the problems we have today, because we've never really resolved anything. We never really
Okay.
got into the meat of the issue. We don't really talk about stuff. We so scared to put our business in the street. And if we start talking about it, we sound negative.
Right.
And I'm like, that's just not where I am. I don't think we spend enough time talking about our problems without it turning into something dramatic. We probably need a little drama,
Right. I'm with you.
to toughen up,
Right.
and be able
Indeed.
to talk about this stuff. I tell my children all the time, when I say stop crying, I'm not telling you don't feel. I'm
Right.
saying communicate.
Right.
Don't just holler.
Right.
Communicate.
Right.
We got to learn how to stop being so angry and start talking about what's really going on with us.
Right.
And we can't talk about what's really going on with us because nobody wants to be talked about.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, everybody talking about, what's the plan? What's the plan? Man, can we have a conversation? How am I going to plan something with you if I can't even communicate with you about what's bothering me?
Right. I feel you.
You
I got
understand?
you.
I mean, so, like, what are you doing about it? I'm doing it now.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm talking about it.
Right.
And
Right.
in a minute, we're going to talk through enough stuff where we're like, you know what? Okay, that's not going to be our problem anymore. Because
Right.
the reality
Indeed.
is, me talking about it is a problem for you. So you don't even want to move forward with me because I'm not giving you a plan. I'm talking about how we got here.
Right. I'm with you.
So you turn the channel and go do something else. But they ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
And that's
Right.
why I
Right.
let you
Yeah. And so it's like putting a Band-Aid on an infected scab.
Indeed.
You want to
Indeed.
cover it up and move forward, but you didn't kill the infection. But the
Indeed.
infection is continuing to kill you because you didn't put anything in it. You didn't put no real antibiotic in there. The antibiotic has to get on the inside and begin to work and heal from the inside out.
Right.
We want to put a Band-Aid on everything, keep and call ourselves moving forward because we don't want to wallow in the dirt. Okay, you know what? In order to really move forward, you need to get a little dirty.
Right. Decision
Thank you,
making
Dr.
power.
Rowley. Yeah, we need decision making power, but we know that we need folks voting. We need folks. We've been talking about that for years. We got to get the
Yeah.
right people in the right seats. How do
Hey,
we
Mama Corey.
raise people up?
Right.
This next generation has to be more
Hey, Keita.
informed. And I'm not talking about social media informed. I'm talking
Right.
about informed about processes, informed about infrastructure, informed about finances, informed
Right.
about, what is a 25-year plan versus a 6-month plan.
Right.
Understand the difference between how people on the other side think and how we think. And you said it
Right.
yourself, bro. You opened up and said, you know, growing up, my vision was limited to,
Thank you.
or my capacity was limited to what to how I live, right?
Right.
And I'm saying like my children, yeah, my children have a little sense of entitlement, but you know what I've done? I've taken into those areas where people are in a struggle, so they can see
Right.
it,
Hey, good morning, Deborah.
and
Right.
then we can talk about it. What's the
Right.
difference between what they're going through and what I'm going through? Y'all going through a
Right.
lot of the same stuff. Their house just isn't as big as yours.
Right. Right.
They're
Right.
not different than you.
Right.
They just don't live where you live. But y'all
Right.
got the same issues, so
Right.
you understand, right? I don't think less of you because of your address. I don't think less of you because of the kind of shoes you have on.
Right.
It's about your integrity. It's about your character. It's about your personality. And I can learn those things when I can get my mind off of your address. If we don't
Right.
raise our children to understand those types of things, that we're raising flawed children.
Indeed.
Short sight.
Indeed.
You know,
Yeah.
those are the things. If we want to get to a better place, let's talk about that kind of stuff. You
Right.
know, why your son get mad every time you tell him no?
Right. That's good. Yeah.
What behavior has he seen where he can't handle the word no?
Right.
You self-reflected.
Right.
Maybe he struggles with no because you struggle with no.
True.
You know?
True. Indeed.
My my grandson. I was having a conversation with my daughter about my grandson. He got the nerve to have a girlfriend. I'm like, boy, what you doing with a girlfriend and you pee in the bed? You know what he said?
What's that?
She pee in the bed too. I couldn't get mad. I'm like, they had that in common. We got issues. We got issues with our women.
Yeah.
Try this on for size. Moving forward as a community,
All right. Let's go.
we deal with our women saying, "I can do everything a man can do." Ain't no difference between him and me. In fact, there is a difference. Everybody got mad at Cam Newton, but Cam Newton was talking about what he wanted in a woman.
Right.
He didn't talk about what I wanted in a woman,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we got to, I can do anything a man can do. Equal pay. I want this. Well, I don't want a woman that can do everything I can do. If you can do everything I can do, that's not a value to me. I want a woman that can do the things that I can't
I
do.
can't do. Indeed.
Right?
Indeed. Yeah.
And we spend so much time trying to prove that they can do what we can do that
Right.
women, they in our minds, psychologically, mentally, you lose your uniqueness if you're doing everything I do.
Right. Right.
That's how
Right.
we move forward as a community. What are the
Right.
real roles?
Right. Title my next book. Yo, E. What's up, E? Me too. Oh man, that's good though. Like, how do we? So, like, having those conversations that are sensitive, or we sometimes we get emotional about certain topics. So I guess heading forward, I guess and that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. Not just covering it up, but having those tough discussions. So what is the? So let me ask you this, and ask both of y'all. So what is the resolve, right? Is it to have it, to get understanding, and just be in a space where we just gonna agree to disagree, but we lay it out on the table. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what I think, this is what I see, and I hear what you're saying. I may not agree. You think more in a conservative space. I think in a more like liberal kind of space. And we kind of, how can we hash it out and still be on the same team? You understand what I'm saying? With
do.
varying degree. We may listen.
Let me
Go ahead.
ask you what you just said. What if I don't understand what you mean when you say, conservative space versus liberal space? Because
Right.
that means something different to anybody that you're interacting with.
Right.
So first, let's understand, if I say I'm conservative, what does that mean?
Right.
If I say I'm liberal, what does that mean?
That mean, yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
Because we throw around these titles and
Yes.
labels and all of that.
Indeed.
And we're not defining anything.
Not at all.
You know,
100%.
yeah,
I'm
they
with you
got
on
mad
that.
at the judge Jackson because she didn't want to define woman.
Right.
You know why she didn't want to define woman? Because she knew there was going to be a rebuttal to her
Right.
definition.
Right. Right.
She's
Right.
like, I'm not a biologist. I'm not going there. And what
Right.
does that have to do with my ability to do my job? Well, someone would say, well, if you can't define what a woman is, and we have laws about being people changing their sex and what
Right.
happens with bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, and the
Right.
Supreme Court has to make a decision, but you can't define what a woman is, you don't deserve to be on the Supreme Court.
Interesting.
So where does definition come from? Does it come from man or does it come from the Bible?
Right.
Does it come from how you were born or does it come from what science allows you to do?
Right.
And,
Right.
and I'm saying, like, that's a real argument. That's a
Yeah.
real debate,
Yeah.
right? You talked about, I'm saying, like, we got to stop throwing around these labels and these titles and start having some real raw conversation.
I'm with you.
What moves you? What
Right.
really ticks you off? Why are you so mad?
Right.
People on here right now, like, man, Pastor is hyped up this morning. Why? Why am I so hyped up? Because the color of my life hits all these areas,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm still working it out. And I'm
Right.
working it out in Christ, but I'm also working it out in my marriage. I'm working it out in my relationship with my children. I'm working it out on the job. I'm working it out, in my finances. I'm working it out in my
Right.
spirit. I'm working it out with my health.
Yeah.
I'm working it out with my car. All
Definitely.
of this stuff. Like I tell people, I don't preach what I heard. I preach what I'm living.
Definitely. I hear what you're saying. I think, a lot of times, having these discussions, having these conversations, and like you said, the terminologies, the labels, we throw them around a lot, and as soon as you say something politically contrary to your group, now you're Republican. It's like
I've been put in a box.
I'm not that, I'm not even the other. Like, this is just, in this area, I feel like this needs to be handled a little different, and it's so funny how that right there, once you put it in the box, now it's like you're no longer the same person. And like I said, we need to have more of those conversations, like, and real talk, I'm gonna try to facilitate just some different voices, some different conversations, so we can kind of hash it out and because sometimes we lack understanding, right? Get understanding. We lack understanding of where people are coming from. Like I said yesterday, I had a guy in a car some weeks ago or some time ago, and he was just, I was letting him spout out everything that he was watching, his white guy, and just everything. Like I said, we went from politics to slavery and like I said, I just missed the reparations talk because I wanted to know, like, where we at, because I know his answer is like, okay, this is how far we are from getting it. Because if he would have been like, no, but if they, then I'm like, okay, we got some leg room, like, so, because folks like that to let you know how close we are, because right now it may be too hot, like, you can't do it, it's not gonna pass. But sometime down the road we kind of slide it on in, because there's the whole Black Lives Matter movement, in the sense, like, not the organization per se, but like the statement, oh yeah, we got your back, guys. Corporations like, yes, we got your back. So that's what I was like, this is a time to slide it in. You have our back. What about 400 years ago? You gonna sign off on that? Sign off on getting our get back finally? You loving us right now, Cause let's keep it real, that like the temperament of the country shifts. Like 9/11 hit, every Muslim was a target now. Like, oh, we don't like Muslims, and you got a turban on, oh, you really in trouble. It just and what is it, like 50, 60 years ago, the Japanese were the ones like, oh man, you gotta watch out for them. They may try to shank you or something. They're the enemy. It's so funny how a culture would become either a hero or they're the target, So it's interesting. Kaneem, you quiet, brother. what you got rolling through your head, my man?
I'm just listening to y'all, man. Mine's going off, and he was saying some good stuff. So I was just really letting I didn't want to disturb his flow, you know what I mean? So I was just because I can't really speak about a lot in the community because my
Right.
interaction with my community is so small. I mean, it's like really I don't do enough and I don't contact enough people to say that because my community is small. Like if I
Okay.
was gonna say I had a community, y'all would be included. You know
All
what I
right.
mean? And then
Appreciate it.
there'll be a couple of more people that might add to it. You feel me? So I can't really say it. So that's why I just keep my comments to myself. And I just be making up stuff.
See what I like? You see what I love? That's what I love about Curvey, man. This dude, like your level of humility is just off the charts, man. It's crazy because when you say those things, you don't even realize you speak in a king's language.
Right.
Because what you're really saying is my circle is small.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
if AD is in your circle, which you call your community,
Right.
that means you're connected not only to AD, but you're connected to his community.
Right.
If
Indeed.
I'm in your circle, that means you're connected to my community,
Right.
right?
Right.
Dr. Rollins is on here.
Right.
You connected to her community. My
Definitely.
mom is on here. She all the way in Arizona. You connected
Right.
to her community.
Right.
You know, like there's people on here from other states, and they listen to you talk,
Yeah.
which plugs you into their community because they're going to share what you say.
Right.
Like your community is so large, bro. I mean, it's crazy, right? When you really think about it in its proper context.
Right.
So what you're really saying is my circle
Right.
is small, but my community is far-reaching
Right.
because my words are on the mouth of people who are listening to me, and I don't know how many people are hearing that.
Right.
Gotcha.
Indeed.
Well, I don't want to sound foolish to my community.
Right, right. I feel you. That would be horrible because you got a big community.
There you go. There you go, Dr. Rollins.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the thing is, each one of us have, lived different lives, have different perspectives, and so, like the best thing about the Brothers of Legacy and pulling us all together, we're not superstars, we just doing our thing daily, and we have varying opinions about certain things and different perspectives. And like I said, and like I mentioned, even Pastor Cosign, like putting folks in a box because, like I'm hard this way, but I'm harder the other way. Like I don't, my way of thinking is not stuck to a particular party or particular way of thinking. Like it's expanding, and then, opinions shift, like, so I'm half this, half that, and sometimes we need to share how we feel about, life in general. Like we've talked about like reparations and things of that nature. And, Pastor's like, he agreed, but he was like, not now. Like the climate, I don't know, his opinion may be different now. Like we should need to go for it now. But we talk about this stuff like, and some, oh, I said, no, I'm a superstar. But,
I don't want to do it.
don't do it.
Honey pie?
See, there you go. There you go. But yeah, so having those that's good. So watch it, Pastor. Having those thoughtful conversations, just surrounding everything is the way that we can fix stuff. You said right, okay, Anton, hold it, right. Tell him, Dr. Rollins. Oh man, but yeah, so
My man, J. Watt Root. Good for the vine.
so Gerardo. Oh man, but yeah, so like, the reason like we have this just so we can have different opinions, have those conversations, and just as a side note, we're gonna get back into some of what we talked about yesterday. I actually got a guest I might be bringing on. I gotta see how it go, to kind of expand on the conversation, and it's important that we talk about race relations. We talk about policies, where we stand on certain things, just so how we and like you said, Pas, how are we going to form an agenda if we don't know where everybody stands? How are we going to go move forward as a community if we don't know where everybody stands? Because we agree on some things, but we don't agree on everything. So it's like, and like I said, so asking you guys, like, are there points, like in your own circles, do you have these tough conversations? Do you have these political conversations with your family, or do you kind of avoid most of them?
Talk about like immediate family.
Yeah, immediate family, even like some of your smaller communities that you may be connected to. Do you have these conversations? And then, if there's a disagreement, do you continue down the path to try to get understanding, or maybe try to be right, or get understanding, or you just kind of leave it alone?
Listen, I don't know how Kaneem feels about this, but I know that he talks to his family.
Yeah.
Right. I talk to my family. We sit, my family now. We have these conversations. We even have debates in my house. And I try to have these conversations with my church family. I have lost people in the church because of politics. Right? Because we don't agree on everything.
Okay.
So the spirit is willing, and my flesh is willing.
All right.
But not everybody's flesh and spirit is
Gotcha.
willing. A lot of people will put comments out there, but they're not prepared to defend their comment.
Right. I got you.
And when you're not prepared to defend your comment, things become awkward really, really fast when you run out of things to say.
Right.
And what we have to remember, and this is what I was talking about earlier, it's not about you being right or you being wrong.
Right.
This is about understanding how we think.
Right.
That's all. That's what it is. And I speak with a whole lot of confidence. I am bullheaded. Right. I'm stubborn. I'm all of those things.
Right.
But when you get to know me, you understand, okay, he is where he is.
Yeah.
But I love him anyway.
Right.
That's where we got to get to. We can't be, he is where he is, so I'm done with him.
Right. Interesting. Put that Terrell comment up again. So Ephraim says, I avoid these conversations with my coworkers, but everybody else, we talk about it often. Yeah, definitely. He said, why do I need to defend my comment? My thoughts or feelings don't need a defense. They are what they are.
So, and I understand what you're saying, Samantha. When I say defend your comment, I'm saying, can you provide clarity? Can you help me understand what that is that you're saying?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mean like you need to fight for what you believe.
Right.
Do that, but I'm saying
just be able to
like me.
Just bring clarity.
Yeah, just clarity. I just want to understand, what it is that you're thinking and why you think that way. Because I'm willing to share what I'm thinking and why I think that way, so that we can understand each other if we're going to be community.
Right.
And that's what I mean when I say we're not really willing to have these in-depth conversations. And that's why our community breaks down.
Right.
You hear what somebody say, but you don't understand what's driving their thought.
He said, my family doesn't always agree, but I can punch them and I get fired.
Right.
He said, many of the saints are hypocritical. We accept the GS in every area of life, but won't do the same at church. We get mad, leave, but you hate your job and the people, but been there 47 years. Right.
I tell people, look, I'm the easiest person to fire in the church.
Right. Indeed.
It's amazing how we can put up with so much stuff out there.
What's up, Mike? Good morning, sir.
But we walk away from our brothers in the church like they're nothing. That's real. That's real.
Okay. So, Kaneem, what is your what about you, your family, your community like? Do you try to have these conversations or you avoid them like the plague?
No, man. I engage all conversations.
Okay.
They personal. It don't it don't really make me a difference because I know that if I have knowledge about the subject, I'm gonna speak what I know, but I'm not gonna just start making up stories. Because I be in a lot of conversations where folks think they have knowledge of the situation or information, but
Right.
they really don't know what they did. They heard it. You got to be somewhere, memorize the statement, and now this is what they repeat. You know, you feel me?
Right.
You
Yeah.
just
Right.
repeating the statement that you heard. So, but I like to
Right.
dig into it. My wife said I'm too hard on the kids, and I'm like, I'm some type of investigator or interrogator or something. But I just want my kid. I'm hard on them because I want them to understand when you get out there in the world, is you gotta be able to speak it
Right.
intelligently
Right.
where people can understand the
Right.
first time.
Right.
Because I don't like repeating myself. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? So if I'm going at you hard with all this, well, why you want to do that? And I hate the question why because it's never ending. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's just I just can't stand that question.
Right.
Why? But
Right.
I do it to my kids because
Mm.
that keep them on their toes and give me
Right.
all the information before I even have to ask a question.
Right.
I'm about to get ready to go outside so I can take a selfie by the garage and then I'll come right back.
Right.
I ain't
Right.
gotta
Right.
say where you going. They
Right.
let
Right.
me
They just
know I'm about to go outside, take a
host
selfie
it.
by the garage, and then I'm gonna come right back. So
Right.
I just,
Right.
grill them like that. So when people get in contact, whether I'm in an Uber or whether I'm at the grocery store or whether I'm at a social event, we get into a conversation or whatever. I'm gonna speak about what I know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then I'm gonna stop right there. But if I learn something,
Right.
then that's even better for me. Because I done got
Right.
something out of the conversation. But I'm not gonna just sit in the conversation and let you dumb me down with some ignorance. So I mean,
Wow.
it's just that's just how I feel about it.
Nice. 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 All right. So, just a quick reset. You're watching the Brothers of Legacy and listening to the Brothers of Legacy. We're talking about moving forward as a community. We're talking about how to having those tough conversations or maybe challenging conversations. Hey, Miss Farrell, that's so true. So yeah, and today, like I said, talking about having how to move forward as a community. And Pastor start off. To move forward, we got to have those harder conversations or those conversations you don't really want to have because it helps. It helps you get focused on exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And like Dr. Rollins said, how could we work together if we don't know where everybody stands on situations and even finances and things of that nature, and money and taxes. Some people would pay more, like we need better infrastructure, so I give more. Some are like, we figured out, let me keep my money. Or can we find another way?
You ever been in a meeting with folks that you're
Yeah.
supposed to be close to,
Right.
and you put all this information out there? A lot of times this happens in the church. And you ask anybody if they had any questions, any problems, any issues. Nobody says anything.
Nothing.
Then as soon as the meeting is over,
Yes.
everybody gets to talking.
Yes.
Stuff come back to you. But
Yes.
why didn't you say it in the meeting? Well, I ain't
Right.
gonna.
Right. Just say it. Yeah. You know what? What's so funny though?
We have been a part of something like that.
Right.
You want to
Raise
know
your
why
hand.
that happens? Because we don't do this right here.
Right. Yeah. Indeed. But what's so funny?
Anywhere, because people sitting in the meeting mad, don't want to work because they got upset because of something somebody said, but they
Right.
didn't confront it in the meeting.
Right. He
Yes,
said the worst.
right.
He said the worst feeling ever. I've shared my heart and crickets. Like that's it. No, that's it. Just can't stand the meeting after.
Yes.
Oh, after the meeting. Right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something that cripples a community? The
Yes.
meeting after the meeting.
The meeting after the meeting. Yeah. Yeah. But I will say, maybe slightly for some, give a little. I don't want to give too many people leeway, but if you've always or felt like you've been in a lot of environments where you try to ask a thoughtful question and you get shut down, like you don't agree with something and then you get shut down, and like we talked about earlier this week, not giving up because it went wrong somewhere else, so it, like you, cause like just shouting out Pastor. I think we was having a Bible study, and he asked the questions. Yeah, Sam says, "Know your room or audience." Right. He asked like a question, and it was like an honest, open question, and it got quiet. Like, is he really asking, or is he doing the fake pastor ask, and he don't really want a real answer? And he was like, "I'm asking because sometimes as a culture, especially in church, and the pastor, we've gotten used to just getting." And never able really to give, not in open. It's more or less, hey, pastor, can I talk to you for a second? Like if I'm gonna ask you a slightly that may sound disrespectful question, hey, pastor, can I ask you something? Does that really make sense? And I'm being honest, but if we need, and honestly, like we all as a people, we need to get into the space where we just step up and ask the question. And not let yourself get upset. And what I mean by that, not wait till like, what, that's enough. I'm tired. I'm going to say it. Hey, I got a question. And you're like, all right, it's cool. Bring it down. We listening. And I think we miss out on that. We wait till we're upset and then we move. So many people get defensive, right? When you don't have the same views they have. Right.
You see everything I see, you're of no value.
Woo.
If we see everything the same way, what benefit do we have for each other?
Right.
I need people in my life that can see things differently because it challenges me. The greatest blessing, one of the great blessings I got from a preacher. I wasn't even in this church. Bishop Noel Jones, some years ago. I don't know how y'all feel about Noel Jones, but some years ago he was preaching.
Yeah.
I done lost somebody because I brought up Noel Jones.
Pause on that. That's so funny. Sometimes you don't want to mention the name. Hey, there was just this preacher I know that But go ahead.
So he's standing at the rostrum and he's reading a passage of scripture, and in the middle of reading, he goes, "Oh, now it's like 5,000 people sitting out there in the church," and he paused. He's like,
"Okay,
I didn't see that before."
Wow. He said, "I love him."
Right? He was reading. He was on a path. He was getting ready to present, and got a new revelation standing there at the rostrum.
Wow.
And he was like, and he looked up like, I didn't even see that. And it liberated me.
Wow.
Because it killed that I know my Bible.
Right.
It helped me realize I could see the same scripture 10 different times and see it 10 different ways.
Yeah.
So when you say, I know my Bible, what does that mean? Right? So all I'm saying is, it's important to remain open. When I say I'm stubborn, it don't mean I'm closed-minded.
Right.
I believe what I believe, and I'm strong in my beliefs.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean my cup is full.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. He think he know everything. No, I don't.
Right.
I do not think I know. As a matter of fact, if you talk to my family, they'll tell you I think I'm downright silly. Right. But you have to have conversation with me to understand that.
Right. He said differences cause growth, and I've learned to respect the fact that we are all different and we can use our differences to our advantage. Yeah. Definitely.
Boom.
Definitely. I think that is 100% how we grow, and I don't know, like it's funny, like especially as Black people, we grow up going at it with each other, like snapping on each other. Like that's how you learn something's ugly on you. Like you thought you was styling. Somebody talking about the sneakers. You like, yeah, these ain't it. Like them sneakers look so tight. Can you even breathe? It's like you learn though. Like we got better. Boy, what kind of cologne you put on? We got gut punched all the time. And that's how we grew though. That's how you got better. Like, son, you need to do something. Your hairline is looking like, you think you good, He said, talking to others.
Man, I learned that early. I'm on
Right.
elementary and then in middle school, I'm over there wearing tuxedo pants with a patch on the knees, and I got stroke kids on and clothes
Right.
rings. You know what I'm saying? I got my key around my neck with an old shoestring. I'm looking crazy. but the kids, they let you know you looking crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But at that point, then
Right.
I started paying attention to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having a little bit more self-esteem.
Right.
I'm looking at magazines to see what's hot, you know. If it
Right.
ain't hot and I can't get it, then I don't want to wear it. You know what I mean? I might wear the same pants 3, 4 days in a row just because they look good. I'm gonna
Right.
wash them and put it right back on. Wash it, put it
Right.
right back on. Okay, I refuse to be called anything but fly back in the day.
Right. Right. And it's funny, like it's like we should almost have that same kind of way in a sense, maybe a little more sensitive, but coming together with when we in meetings and things are going a certain direction, and people when you see something that's like, yo, this we keep doing this ain't really working. Like it's why do we keep doing this? And it's we do it because it's what we always done. Is like it's not helping though. we're getting the same results. Like which is
Always
nothing.
do what you. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you keep on getting what you always got.
Right. Exactly. This thing is not helping, and we need to get into a space where we question it. Gerardo says talking to others and getting points of view can make a huge difference. He said when I got out of college, I was gonna go to the Navy, but didn't want the one option for a career path. Wow. Had I talked to my professor, my life would be different today. Wow, and I regret it. Wow. Okay. So yeah, definitely.
I served in the military, bro, and I got out. I was grateful to God. I was able to find a nice career and everything, but I never took advantage of my VA benefits.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Here I am in my 50s. I've been out of the military for 30 years.
Wow.
And I'm just now starting to take advantage
Wow.
of my VA benefits. And the more I take advantage of them, the more I feel horrible because I realize all the stuff I missed out on.
Wow. He said I would have been an officer radiation.
I kept thinking, well, I don't need those benefits. I got insurance. I don't need those benefits. I got this. I got a good job. I got this.
Wow.
And I have spent so much money over the course of my adult life.
Right.
That I probably would have saved $1 million just in taking advantage of VA benefits up till now in my life.
Wow.
And now I feel silly,
right?
Because I didn't listen to all these people taking advantage of these VA benefits.
Right.
I bought my house, this house, and this is like my 4th house.
Oh, you never used.
But I just got a VA loan for the first time.
Wow.
And the amount of money that I saved.
Wow.
You understand?
Right.
And here's the thing. My wife has asked me during a former house purchase, honey, why don't you use your VA benefits? I don't need no VA benefits. I could qualify for a loan.
Ain't nobody taking no government handout.
It was the easiest process I ever had to go through, man, when I went VA.
Wow.
So, when it came to stuff like that, I was closed-minded.
Right.
And somebody brought a different perspective, and I didn't receive it. And I lost because of that. I ain't losing no more.
Right. Yeah, and that's big right there. I think we really lose because of our lack of perspective.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes just being older, like what especially somebody young. Okay, somebody younger coming, it's like what you know about life, but like I know some programs, like I'm on the ground, like I know new apps that are happening that you don't have to do it this way anymore, and I think even as we grow, we need to be willing to listen, open-minded. Here's some new ideas, here's some new thoughts, and just not be so quick to attack it based on what we knew You know what I'm saying? Like, so many things are changing. The world is shifting. You know, just be open, because sometimes we miss out because of what we used to experience. I think that's the struggle. What comment did I miss?
J.R.B. ain't got no.
Lord, pastor was praying and the man had gone and listened to the spirit.
Hold on, I'm trying to find. Look, I'm looking for it, y'all. Wait, let me see. Let's see.
All right, you got what's that?
Nope, it ain't. Nope, ain't none in there. I'm looking for his sins. He ain't got none.
Oh man, so listen, we appreciate you guys for rocking and hanging with us for another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Hopefully this gives you some perspective. Next week we're gonna tackle some things. So just continue to pray for us. Thank you for being here. Begin to share. Let everybody know that we are here. And if you share on Facebook, you hit that share button. Put a little comment at the top, like, this is what you should expect from the Brothers of Legacy. And let everybody know that we're trying to have thoughtful conversation to really move our community forward. And so, oh gosh, point of reference. I yield the mic back over to Pastor.
I just want to apologize to all of those who feel like we failed and we didn't give y'all a plan.
Right.
Because we didn't, I want to apologize now before we close out for all of those who feel like this was an empty conversation.
Oh.
We ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
We didn't give you no forward plan.
Nah.
I apologize to you now. I'm not apologizing that we didn't give you a plan. I'm apologizing that you missed it.
Right. All right.
At about 2:00 this afternoon.
Right. But so again, we appreciate you being here. Listen, I want you guys to continue to stay safe, do the right thing. Tomorrow is Freestyle Friday. We look forward to seeing you guys here, your face in the place. Thank you for Mr. Kaneem. I think he got a phone call. Thank you for him being here. Oh, there you go. He's back. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rocking with us, and thank you for always sharing, because sharing is caring. I think that's it. What's today? Thursday? Just be safe, guys. Know that we love you. God loves you more. Continue to stay safe. And listen, I want you to tell at least one person in your circle about the Brothers of Legacy. Just one. And have them subscribe to the YouTube channel and come hang out with us. All right. My producer said your closes are way too long. You're closing like a preacher now. All right. So I'm closing now. God loves you. Stay safe. We'll see you in the AM. Bid you with peace.
As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being. Make sure to share.